How did it happen that this is what you ended up doing?
Well, in Nassawapi, outside of Sturgeon Bay where I am, it's because the town chairman invited me.
We're in Nassawapi?
We're technically in Nassawapi, but the mailing address is Sturgeon Bay.
Okay.
But the township is Nassawapi. So as far as I know, I'm the only blacksmith in Nassawapi.
You are.
But there are several in Door County proper.
And how did you get into blacksmithing?
Oh, that's a good story. It started with a girl.
A girl.
Right.
Doesn't that happen a lot?
Well, young woman, I should say. A woman I was dating in college. Her father had bought out a blacksmith shop several years prior, and he said I could use the equipment if I didn't break it. Now, I don't know how you break an anvil, but he was worried. And he sent me to a friend in Madison named Paul Marks, who taught me how to forge. He was teaching a class at the tech college there. Now the college has turned into a bigger event, but they still have some of the forging there. And I gathered equipment and added to my skill set and worked full-time in Florida as a smith. And when we moved back to Wisconsin, there was no one to work for, so I had to hang my own shingle.
It's none of my business, but what happened to the girl?
I ended up marrying her.
Did you really?
She proposed to me, so it's her fault, really.
Look at it. It was meant to be.
That's it.
Yeah.
And now I have the anvil that I first stared forging on. He gave
girl.
that to me. And the woman, yeah.
It's really great. Yeah.
There's no liquid phase of the metal, right? It's all solid state. So historically, they would use the same technique without heat to weld gold to itself for jewelry.
Oh,
Because
wow.
pure gold welds to itself. So all you have to do is burnish it and it sticks. There it is.
That's cool.
Yep.
What does somebody who learns that art of blacksmithing, like what are they, is there a path they usually take? Is
Well,
there something typical around a blacksmith's
yes,
career?
right.
It's not yours.
No.
No.
There are apprenticeships that were historically done. So you'd live with a master and grow with their family and take care of the shop and the family. And then eventually enter your journeyman phase where you travel. And as the German journeymen say, you have to steal with your eyes. So you work in other shops, and it was always expected that when a journeyman smith shows up at the door, you house them and feed them and put them to work. Nice. Well, I tend not to do fantasy pieces myself. I'll help someone make one.
Tell me what that is.
Oh, just anything that doesn't have a basis in historical fact, right? So something that's a sword-like object, but not really a sword. So it can look like one, but if the balance is off, then it isn't.
So it's not really a sword.
Right.
And you don't make that.
I try not to make those, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've done axes. The latest axe I helped was reheat treating an axe for a fireman in Green Bay. So he had his service axe, and it needed to be rehardened.
And
so we spent a day and requenched and ground on his axe.
And he needed it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, again, a tool. So hold it with that hand. And you're just going to come straight down on top of the billet. Yep. And what will happen, it will look like there's liquid throwing out. That's not metal, that's liquid flux. The metal is never liquid.
Ever.
Not in this operation.
Okay.
We could, with a different process, get it hot enough to where we could cast it. But we're not doing that right here.
Okay.
Because it would homogenize. You would have all the chemistry even in the billet. And what we want is that surface pattern from the difference in chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your success at this?
Sure.
Like people are watching saying, I know him from, how do they know
I've
you?
seen him somewhere, yeah. The
they have.
beard is familiar, yeah. Several years ago, Nova asked me to reproduce a Viking sword called an Ulfbert. So Ulfbert, yeah, wolf bear might be the best translation of that. And there's still a lot unknown about that particular style of sword, but there were hundreds of them made over several hundred years, so it was longer than a human lifespan. But enough of those exist to show that it was an actual thing, a product. It mattered. We don't know why it mattered. We just know that it's of the historical record. So I reproduced that, And,
And did you know that before they asked that you reproduce it?
well, the core research was done by a friend of mine, Dr. Alan Williams of the Wallace Collection in London. He had metallographically studied some of these old blades and kind of reverse engineered how they might have been made. And I was at a conference when he presented his paper, and I thought it was interesting. And then 4 years later, I got a phone call to make one. So that led to a lot of months of practice and trial and error. And eventually we got it down to a plausible technique for manufacture. But we'll never actually know.
Because?
There are still mysteries in steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right into the... You can move it a little bit.
The smell is good. Smells like,
Nice.
oh, it smells like an oil lamp.
It is a very light mineral oil, that quench. All right, that should be it. Lift it up, let that oil drip back in. There's your quenched knife. So that's hardened, but it's too hard to use. So now we have to put it in a temper for another 2 hours to soften it a little.
And where's that?
The black kiln, that's the next one over. So you can let go.
You've got it?
Yep. So there's your knife.
Oh my God, look at me. Look.
And it's straight. I made one almost identical for a gentleman down near
A
Manitowoc.
butcher?
Well, hobby.
Butchers for a hobby.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, the bespoke meats are coming back. So people are doing custom butchering, raising of animals just for their family use, and then they get the cuts they want.
nice. How can they find this?
My website,
What is that?
it is doorcountyforgeworks.com.
I knew that.